Wuthering Heights by Emily Brontë is not simply a romance. It is a psychological tragedy examining the destructive power of pride, the corrosive nature of revenge, the rigidity of class systems, the possibility of redemption. The novel is set in the late 18th and early 19th century on the isolated Yorkshire moors of northern England. The story revolves around two houses. Wuthering Heights, harsh, exposed, wild. Thrushcross Grange, elegant, refined, cultivated. The story plot. Mr. Earnshaw brings home an orphan boy, Heathcliff, to Wuthering Heights. His son Hindley resents the newcomer, while his daughter Catherine Earnshaw forms a deep, almost mystical bond with him. After Mr. Earnshaw's death, Hindley degrades Heathcliff to servant status. Catherine grows torn between her passionate love for Heathcliff and her desire for social advancement. She marries Edgar Linton of Thrushcross Grange, believing Heathcliff beneath her status. Though she famously declares, "I am Heathcliff." Heartbroken, Heathcliff disappears and returns wealthy, determined to exact revenge. He ruins Hindley, marries Edgar's sister Isabella Linton spitefully, and torments both households. Catherine, emotionally fractured, dies after childbirth. The second half shifts to the next generation. Catherine's daughter, also Catherine, often called Cathy, Hindley's son Hareton Earnshaw, and Heathcliff's frail son Linton Heathcliff. Heathcliff manipulates their lives to secure ownership of both estates. Yet as he grows haunted by Catherine's memory, he loses his appetite for vengeance. Ultimately, young Cathy and Hareton fall in love, healing the rift between the two houses. Heathcliff dies consumed by longing for Catherine. Peace returns to the moors. The narrative structure is layered. Mr. Lockwood, a tenant at Thrushcross Grange, narrates the outer story. The inner story is told by Nellie Dean, the longtime housekeeper of both households. The novel spans 2 generations and explores love, revenge, class conflict, cruelty, and redemption. The first generation represents destructive obsession. The second generation represents healing and renewal. And on the lonely moors, love and death become inseparable. If you like video as this, kindly subscribe to our channel to enable you receive notifications each time we upload a new video for your enjoyment. Basic storyline of the book. 1. Heathcliff's arrival. Mr. Earnshaw, owner of Wuthering Heights, adopts a mysterious orphan boy named Heathcliff. His children. Hindley Earnshaw. Catherine Earnshaw. Catherine and Heathcliff form an intense emotional bond. Hindley, however, grows jealous and resentful. After Mr. Earnshaw's death, Hindley inherits the estate and degrades Heathcliff to the status of a servant. 2. Catherine's choice. Catherine falls in love with Heathcliff but chooses to marry Edgar Linton, a wealthy gentleman from Thrushcross Grange, because he offers social advancement. Heathcliff overhears Catherine saying it would degrade her to marry him. Heartbroken, he disappears. 3. Heathcliff's return and revenge. Heathcliff returns years later, mysteriously wealthy and refined. His goal is revenge. He ruins Hindley financially and takes ownership of Wuthering Heights. Marries Edgar's sister Isabella Linton out of spite. Emotionally torments Catherine. Catherine becomes mentally unstable and dies after giving birth to her daughter, also named Catherine, Cathy Linton. Heathcliff is devastated and obsessed with her memory. 4. The second generation. Heathcliff continues revenge by manipulating the younger generation. His sickly son Linton Heathcliff. Catherine, Cathy Linton. Hindley's son Hareton Earnshaw. He forces Cathy to marry Linton so he can inherit Thrushcross Grange after Edgar's death. Linton dies soon after. Heathcliff now controls both estates. Hareton, originally heir to Wuthering Heights, has been raised uneducated and humiliated by Heathcliff. 5. Redemption and peace. Cathy eventually befriends Hareton. She teaches him to read and softens him. They fall in love. Heathcliff becomes increasingly haunted by visions of Catherine. His obsession consumes him. He loses interest in revenge and dies mysteriously, seemingly reunited spiritually with Catherine. Cathy and Hareton plan to marry and move to Thrushcross Grange, ending the cycle of hatred. Major conflicts and their resolutions in the book. 1. Conflict, Hindley vs. Heathcliff, jealousy and class rivalry. Casi, Hindley resents Heathcliff for replacing him in his father's affection. Development. Hindley abuses Heathcliff. Heathcliff later destroys Hindley financially. Resolution. Hindley dies in poverty and alcoholism. Heathcliff takes Wuthering Heights. The conflict ends with Hindley's downfall but leaves generational damage, Hareton's suffering. 2. Conflict, Catherine versus herself, love versus social status. Casi, Catherine loves Heathcliff but desires wealth and social respectability. Development. Marries Edgar for status. Emotional turmoil tears her apart. Resolution. Catherine's psychological breakdown. She dies shortly after childbirth. The conflict is never fully resolved in life, it becomes spiritual through Heathcliff's obsession. 3. Conflict, Heathcliff versus Edgar Linton, passion versus civility. Casi, Catherine's divided love. Development. Heathcliff humiliates Edgar. Emotional warfare between them. Isabella's marriage adds tension. Resolution. Catherine's death separates them permanently. Edgar lives peacefully raising Cathy. Edgar dies dignified, Heathcliff inherits his property through manipulation. 4. Conflict. Heathcliff versus society, outcast versus class structure. Casi, Heathcliff's unknown origin and low status. Development. Treated as inferior. Gains wealth to gain power. Resolution. He achieves social dominance but remains emotionally empty. His revenge does not bring happiness. Ultimately, death ends his battle against society. 5. Conflict, Heathcliff versus Isabella, abusive marriage. Casi, Isabella's naive romanticism. Development. Heathcliff mistreats her. She suffers and flees. Resolution. Isabella escapes and raises Linton alone. She dies years later. Heathcliff gains custody of Linton. 6. Conflict, Heathcliff versus Hareton, revenge on the innocent. Casi, Hareton is Hindley's son. Development. Heathcliff denies him education. Keeps him degraded. Resolution. Cathy educates Hareton. Hareton regains dignity. Love heals the damage. 7. Conflict, Cathy versus Heathcliff, freedom versus control. Casi, Heathcliff forces her marriage to Linton. Development. Cathy resents imprisonment. Emotional suffering. Resolution. Linton dies. Heathcliff loses interest in cruelty. Cathy finds love with Hareton. 8. Central conflict, love versus revenge. The core theme of the novel. Heathcliff chooses revenge instead of healing. Resolution. Revenge destroys nearly everyone. Only the second generation chooses forgiveness. Love, Cathy and Hareton, restores peace. Final conclusion of the story. Heathcliff dies obsessed with Catherine. Cathy and Hareton prepare to marry. The violent past is buried. Literally and symbolically. Nature returns to calm. The cycle of revenge ends. The novel closes with a sense of eerie peace. Heathcliff and Catherine are rumored to wander the moors together, suggesting their love transcends death. The novel has 34 chapters, originally published in 2 volumes 1847. Its narrative is framed and nonlinear, relying on memory and testimony, which deepens its psychological complexity. We took our time to split it into 4 parts for your reading convenience. Chapter 1 to 8, Chapter 9 to 15, Chapter 16 to 24 and Chapter 25 to 34. Each of these are classified as Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4 of the book Wuthering Heights by Emily. Search our videos for your enjoyment. If you like video as this, kindly subscribe to our channel to enable you receive notifications each time we upload a new video for your enjoyment. You are welcome to drop a list of books you will want us to read with you in our channel. Thank you.